want to do a quick video on when you're in the stand. So this might not seem like I'm getting into the meat and potatoes of anything I'm really talking about. I'm really talking about what you can do as a hunter to improve your chances, basically. So this is the same thing. I'm not talking about tactics on where to put your tree stand yet. I'm just talking about how I mentally prepare and how I've developed a certain way in the tree stand. So as I mentioned before, in a tree stand, I usually have several limbs and or trees around me, so I feel very comfortable. And because I feel very comfortable and stable, I tend not to move around because I'm able to concentrate and not worry about anything happening to me in terms of, within reason, within, falling out of the tree or the tree falling down or any sort of thing like that. Again, before I deviate too far, before I set up my tree stand, I don't think I mentioned, I look up to see if there's any widow makers, they call them, which is large branches about ready to fall or they're sitting on the branch and so forth. So I'm fairly comfortable up there, and how I approach sitting in a tree stand is the same way I approach sitting on a ground blind or just sitting in the woods at the base of the tree. So this is how I think of it. I make believe in my mind that I'm sitting in a chair in the middle of the woods with no cover, with no camo. So I try to and deer looking at me. So I picture myself, there's deer always watching me. I'm totally exposed. There's no cover. I'm not camoed. I'm not up in a tree stand. I'm literally being watched. So that really does help me. It might not help everyone, but it helps me manage my movement. Every single movement, every single noise, every single sound is magnified. So that's helped me a great deal. When I started to incrementally get more serious about hunting the past 4 to 6 years, I had to relearn that. So I had to put myself in that situation. Deer all around me. They're all looking at me. I'm trying not to spook them all. I'm trying to make minimal movements. I always find ways to try not to move at all. And when I do move, I try to move as slowly as possible. I have opportunities where in the past, when I was younger, I've missed some serious opportunities because I didn't follow those rules. You got to move slow. You got to keep in mind that when you turn around, there could be a deer standing right there. So think about that when you're in the tree stand, and always act like a deer is watching you. If you do that, I think you'll be successful. If you follow all the other, requirements and have a little luck, I think you will be successful as a hunter. And I think that is one of the most important things you can do. So you can control a lot of things. You can control the location you hunt. You can control your ability to shoot. You can control your scent, and you can control how much you move. So if you bring all that stuff together, you're almost there in terms of harvesting a deer every year, or closer to that. There's no guarantees, but those things are important. You can own those, and then from there, hopefully, luck or skill, however you want to think about it, comes into play. So to increase your odds of seeing deer, pretend like deer is always around you and move that minimal. And here's another little point that I don't think many people understand, having hunted with a few people. They don't understand what movement really is. I've seen several people I've hunted with that just think this is minimal movement, or looking around like this is minimal. However slow, when I say minimal movement, I mean no movement. Anything less than stationary is movement. Think about that. That includes fiddling with your hands. That includes everything. Zero movement. On a windy day, you can kind of get lucky, if you will. There's leaves moving, there's branches moving. But on a completely still day, when it's dead calm, there's nothing to cover your sounds or your movement. think about that. So it's helped me a lot. I've learned that hard lesson. It took me a long time to learn that lesson, and now that I'm more committed to deer hunting, it's something that I try to practice. Am I perfect? No, but I try to work on that, and it's something that you can work on. So it's hard, and it helps you engage too. If you're quiet and attentive and just sitting there, you're going to pick up things more than if you're moving around. So that includes playing on your iPhone or playing on a game or reading a book or something like that. You're more inclined to pick up on something, be it hooves on the ground or a snort or a breaking branch or anything. If you're not focused on your surroundings and you're focused on something else, you will miss something. It's as simple as that. So hopefully this helps a little bit, and thank you for watching my video.
Crunching on the forest floor, my heart rate jumps even more. Looking for the box to fill my tag, straight out of a hunting bag. Drop time 14, making his way down. It's time for his last showdown. Breathe in, breathe out, hold it, fire away.